Hey YouTube family, I am finally making this video. I know, it's been a while, but many of you saw my previous video. It was regarding my daughter's cavity reversal and what I did to make that happen. That video generated hundreds of thousands of views and a lot of questions. So I wanted to take the time to answer those questions and kind of like reiterate some of the things that I said and what I did and what I used. Two of the things that I used to reverse my daughter's cavities were high vitamin butter oil, which is very high in vitamin K2 and the X factor vitamin component or whatever chemical, and could be found in ghee or just the high vitamin butter oil. You can Google it just like that, either on Amazon. I will put the link in the description so that you can be able to get the one that I personally use. Ever since, there's been many brands that have came out, so I suggest doing your research as far as what high vitamin butter oil you want to use. Another thing that I used for her was cod liver oil, and you can get it flavored or just regular. I will also be linking it down below. There is the regular cod liver oil and the high vitamin one. So I will also talk about the dosage on how much of each to take. Both of them need to be taken together because they activate each other and really get the job done. So I will also add links to that so that you can look into it, pretty much like kind of get the science behind it, right? Because I'm a very analytical person. I do a lot of research, so it's very important for me to know the facts before I try anything. Let's get to the questions. What was it that I gave her? I already said it. High vitamin butter oil and cod liver oil. So the dosage in regards to the cod liver oil, we have pregnant women, it is suggested to not go over the 20,000 IU, which is, cod liver oil has vitamin A, and it's been said to be very careful if you're pregnant to consume cod liver oil because it can have effects on the baby. My research points me to pregnant women cannot go over the 20,000 IU of cod liver oil. For younger children, we have 3 months to 12 years. It's advised to only have 1 teaspoon of the regular cod liver oil. Now, if you have the high vitamin cod liver oil, it's recommended to only do half of that. Now, when we talk about the high vitamin butter oil, from 3 months to 12 years is a half a teaspoon. Same thing for adults. Now, for myself, I'll do a full teaspoon, sometimes even 1.5. That's completely fine. Now, as far as the questions that I've received, there's been many, but I happen to write down some of the most important ones that I feel deserve an answer. So we have, is the butter oil ghee or is it something more? So from my understanding, ghee and the high vitamin butter oil are very much alike. So, I think it's all marketing. It comes from the cows. It has the same components. So it's pretty much the same thing if you ask me. But I think the quality, as far as when we discuss quality, I think that not everything is the same. You have to look at what's the process behind getting this product. So not everybody manufactures the product the same. Not all of the qualities are the same. So I would suggest either going with the one that I went with or doing your research. There's other brands out there and you just never know. So I recommend definitely digging and doing your research as to who is making the product. So the next question is, how much butter oil was I giving Bella? And the answer to that was half a teaspoon. Might have brought it up to a teaspoon on some occasions, but I kept it at half a teaspoon so that she can easily swallow it. I didn't want to overwhelm her with, the fact that she had to take the cod liver oil and the vitamin butter oil. So, I encouraged her to just not taste it too much, just swallow it and drink water right after. So you can also cook it in the eggs. I don't like to put the high vitamin butter oil on high heat. So what I do is I would have scrambled her some eggs and let the half a teaspoon of high vitamin butter oil melt on the eggs or whatever I was cooking her. Avoid high heat because I feel like high heat kind of destroys the benefits of it. And I use another oil if I am allergic to cod liver oil. So yes, you can take krill oil or krill oil supplements. I know that cod liver oil has vitamin A, vitamin D, omega-3, fatty acids, and other nutrients, right? Look for alternatives. Do your research, see what other things you can consume that is able to deliver that vitamin A, D, and also omega-3. The next question is, do I swallow the oil? So was Bella swallowing the oil? And the answer is yes. This is not a swishing oil pulling method. This is you have to consume that into your body so that your bones, your teeth, your blood absorbs the nutrients and vitamins so that it can go ahead and do what it's supposed to do. So you're not oil pulling, you're not swishing around, you're not doing any of that. You are swallowing both of the products. The next question is, where can I find these products? Where can I buy them? So it's your choice what brand you want to go with. It's your choice what product you want to buy. There's many companies out there, but I will list in the description down below what products I used, and I will make sure that the link is there so that you can go ahead and order if you like. If it's not available, because I've received comments that told me that it was sold out or the link wasn't working, Google it. There's other vendors that sell the same exact product. All you need to do is Google. So I'll make sure to add several links so that you can have options on where you want to buy it. All links are valid, so feel free to use either or and make your purchase. Another thing is, I am not affiliated with any of these companies. I am not being paid, sponsored, or anything like that. This is me generally sharing what happened, my experience with this whole situation. I personally, still to this day, haven't had any cavities. My daughter still to this day hasn't had any other cavities. I can't sit here and say that we still do the same protocol, but we do use xylitol toothpaste and we do not use fluoride toothpaste. There's no cavities. We don't have any cavities. We go to the dentist and we're clear. What helps translucent teeth? And what I can tell you is that in Japan or Vietnam, it's Japan, they use hydroxyapatite toothpaste, and that helps remineralize your teeth. So hydroxyapatite toothpaste, I will also link it down below so that you can go ahead and do some research and also purchase it. It's very cheap and it's one of the best components to building back the enamel of the teeth and making the teeth stronger. And even in the reviews of the people who purchase the product, you can see that their teeth is showing results to the translucent aspects that they used to have. So it's something that you can see the result for. So hydroxyapatite, if you have translucent teeth, if you're losing your enamel, hydroxyapatite is backed by science, and it's definitely something to look into. What will help with existing fillings? I would speak to a holistic dentist about that. They have other ways to approach fillings and all of that. Once you drill the hole, it's kind of hard to say what's possible, right? I don't like to say that it's not possible. I've heard of people who have meditated and have reconstructed their impossible to fix teeth, or things that required surgery or there was no hope, they were able to do that. So I can't sit here and say that it's not possible, but do I know? No, I haven't seen it. I haven't dealt with it. So if you have existing fillings, I would advise you to see a holistic dentist or a trusted dentist and see what options they have for you. As long as it's not metal fillings, I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest with you. So were Bella's cavities at the root or the surface? There were, based on what the dentist was explaining to me, they were beyond waiting around for it. They needed to be filled and they weren't superficial. I believe there was one that was superficial and the rest were like they needed to be filled. And to go back to the Rhonda Patrick story where she needed a root canal, but she couldn't get the root canal because she was pregnant, and the doctor told her, let's see each other after you give birth to do the procedure. She did the whole, xylitol, chewing gum, and she went back to the dentist and the root canal was unnecessary. It was canceled because her teeth just healed completely. Whether it's at the root or the surface, I wouldn't really think about that. Just do it and see how it works for you. The next question is, can this method help avoid a root canal? And the answer to that, based on the extensive research out there, the evidence that's out there, even myself, I can confidently say that this is something that could prevent a root canal, and so does Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She thinks the same, and she knows the same because she was able to reverse her needed root canal. Like, it was just something that was not necessary anymore. Any dietary change to help prevent cavities. And for my daughter, there wasn't a diet change or anything like that. She's a kid. We can say that we want to feed our kids healthy things as much as we want to, but there's so many factors that come into play at life, and you know, there's only so much you can do, right? And once they have it, once they try it, whether it's chips, ice cream, soda, all the acidic things in the world, once they try it, they want it. And you kind of feel guilty depriving them of that. So I wasn't the one to deprive her of that. I just did what I could, right, as a parent. And there wasn't any diet that I had her on. However, if you do want to optimize your results and you want to prevent these type of things from happening, then oral hygiene is a must. You have to take care of your teeth. And things to avoid is making sure that you avoid foods that are high in, I don't even know how to say the word, phytic acid. Phytic acid, it could be found in legumes and nuts and seeds. So my advice is to make sure you soak your beans, soak your seeds, your nuts before you eat it. And that's pretty much it. That's all the advice I have regarding diet. What role does coconut oil play in this process? What I can say about coconut oil is that it has lauric acid, and I don't know if you know, but we have a microbiome in our mouth and gut and in almost every area of our body, right? But the most significant microbiomes, you can find them in your gut, in your mouth. The funny thing about pathogens and bacteria, they tend to hide in a biofilm. They're very smart, and they hide in this biofilm, and this biofilm is hard to crack. So I know that lauric acid, which is found in coconut oil, breaks down that biofilm and exposes the pathogen, and it's also very antioxidant because of that. So coconut oil not only plays a huge part in the bacteria that we have in our mouth, but also in our gut. So not only can you swish it around, but if you consume it, that's even better. And if you want to go a little step further, you can go on Amazon and order Monolaurin, which is a pure form of lauric acid, to go straight to the gut. And just, it's like little pebbles, and they're easy to swallow, but they play such a great role in getting those pathogens and bacteria, they're hiding these biofilms exposed so that your immune system can go attack and clear it out. How long did it take for you to see results? So the answer to that question is pretty much a month or two. I'd say just be consistent for about a month or two, and you'll surely see results, to be honest with you. Is it easier to reverse children's cavities versus adult cavities? I would say yes. And I say that because their bones are very resilient. Their bodies overall, they're very resilient. So I feel that their bodies heal much faster. They're more charged up. I don't know if I could put it any other way, but their body is just so fresh and so high performing that I think that children just do well overall in healing. A year ago, and a half ago or so, my daughter broke her arm, and her bone was scheduled to heal completely because they were able to reduce it only a certain amount. It wasn't completely on top of each other. The doctor advised me to not do surgery or put pins on it. He said that he's seen these cases many times before in India, and to just give her body the chance. He just knew what he was talking about, so I trusted him. And within 3 months of her having the cast on, her bone completely healed. And that was even shocking to him because he expected her to be completely, fully ready to go within a year, and that her bone would be aligned properly on its own within a year. And it happened within 3 months. So that just goes to show how resilient the bones of children are. And he also explains the science behind it, the reason why And there is, like I said, a component in the bones that as you get older, I think it's past 11 years old, that it just reduces, and it prolongs the healing process. So the older we get, definitely the harder it is. But I like to emphasize the fact that it is not impossible. You can heal, and mind over matter always. So how often did Bella consume the oils daily? I think I gave it to her just once a day. Now that I'm thinking on it, definitely once. I would do it for her on an empty stomach in the morning or with her food. So it was just once a day. Does oil pulling help whiten teeth? I honestly don't know. I think that it can break down the bacteria and the plaque, so maybe, but I have to ponder on it, do a little bit of research on it, but possibly. Do I recommend any supplements? So for teeth, the supplements that I recommend are the ones that I mentioned, which is vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K, omega-3s, you know, all which can be found in the high vitamin butter oil and a cod liver oil or the krill oil supplements. Those are the supplements I recommend. As we're only talking about this teeth situation, those are the ones I'm recommending. For other supplements, be on the lookout. I will be discussing what other supplements I recommend, especially with my hair growth and the time frame in which I grew my hair. You know, I had short hair since the last video, so I would make a video on that. Is there a cheaper alternative to the butter oil? Ghee. Go to your local neighborhood supermarket, get an organic brand ghee, and make sure that it's good quality. Is there a specific coconut oil that I use? The answer to that is just make sure it's organic, cold pressed oil. Is there a vegetarian alternative to cod liver oil? There is. I just don't know if they are as effective as the OG, the original. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is the oxidation of cod liver oil. Any type of omega-3 fish oil, you have to make sure you refrigerate it. Even the pills, right? You get pills that have the oil inside. They have to be in the fridge. Do not leave it stored in your cabinets or anything like that, because it can oxidize. So make sure to refrigerate it. That is so important. And that's pretty much it. I can't think of any other questions that I can answer right now, but if you have any more, let's keep this conversation going. I want to talk about it. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care.